Maggie. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon and we're here on Main Street at 721 Main. And that is the exterior of 721 Main. It is on the corner of Main Street and Talmadge. It's really close to downtown, literally 4 blocks from downtown. You walk down the hill and you're in the midst of downtown Eau Claire. So I'm going to unlock the door and get us inside. Now I'm standing at the back corner of the house. I wanted to show you that this house shares a driveway with the house next door. So in order for your next door neighbor to get into their parking space, you have to make some arrangements to make sure you're not blocking the driveway so that he can get in there. Now we're at the top of the back steps, and you enter into a little vestibule as you come into the house before you get to the back door. Again, we're on the back vestibule. I got the door open for us. So this is how we enter the main entrance off the back of the house. And then there's a secondary vestibule that has coat hooks for hanging coats and a nice big window that has a cracked pane of glass in it. You got some really pretty wood floors here. And then you walk into the kitchen. You've got a beautiful radiator, some really nice countertops and cabinetry, newer appliances. Couple of windows above the kitchen sink. Then this door goes to the basement entrance. We'll explore that later. And there's what looks to be a laundry hatch. And a set of shelves. We've got exposed brick here. Some more older cabinetry, and then there's a full bath off of the kitchen. So that's got a full tub and shower setup. We walk through the kitchen into a nice large dining room that's really open and airy and bright. And that opens by a big entryway onto the living room, which is also quite large and bright. All of this has those same beautiful hardwood floors, but here you can see kind of how much bigger this dining room is. And then in back of the dining room, there's a sun porch. So we'll go back through the dining room, take another look at the living room. There's a wood-burning fireplace. Looks like it has the original mantle. Some really pretty features in this room. There's a big, deep closet here. And then there is a front door going onto a small vestibule type porch. When I tried to open the front screen door, I could not open it because the bottom of it wedged against the floor. The floor is slanted and the bottom of the door didn't clear, and so it wouldn't open all the way. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that, you know, Main Street is a busy street, high traffic, and while I was standing out there, you could hear a lot of noise. But in the house here, it's much quieter. You don't hear all that traffic noise. So let's head upstairs first. And the wood floors continue up here. This is the bedroom that's at the front of the house. It's large. You would have plenty of room to put a king-size bed and a couple of dressers. Plus you've got a good-sized closet. It's probably 6 feet wide. And then off the bedroom here, you have what was probably originally designed as a dressing room. It's small, but it certainly is big enough for a desk and a computer. And this whole wall is lined with more closets. And up above there's cabinetry too. So these are the stairs that we just came up. And then here's bedroom number 2. This one is quite a bit smaller, but it still would definitely hold a double bed and tables, a dresser or two. And then there's a full bath on this level with some nice cabinetry. Lots of storage. The hallway has that same built-in wooden cabinetry. And then there's one more quite large bedroom up here. And this one is lined with windows. That hatch right up there on the ceiling is the way you access the attic in this house. One other thing I wanted to point out was the light fixture that's hanging in the hallway there. It's really pretty and it fits the house. Now I'm back at the basement door that comes just off the kitchen and down the steps to get to the basement area. There's another door that goes out to the side of the house and a small cabinet area here. I'm in the basement now, and while this is an unfinished space, it is, however, quite comfortable. You certainly could finish it off to give you additional square footage, but the current sellers are using it quite functionably as it is. So I'll give you a little look around so that you can see how they're using it. Just off the bottom of the stairs here, this area they're using for, they have a ping pong and a weight table here. And then what this equipment is down here is that's the boiler. So that's what keeps all the radiators hot. This area here is a large open room, and the sellers have it set up as a bar and games area. They also have their washer and dryer in this area. It's quite large. It feels dry. There is a slight mustiness to the smell. It smells like a basement, but I don't see any evidence of any recent wetness. In a building this age, this is a really nice basement. In buildings this old, we don't normally see them this clean and this dry. There is one other small area off of the bar games area, and this is kind of set up as a workshop. You can see they've got room for a freezer in here. There's a built-in workbench along one side. I would like to point out, you can tell by the air conditioners, that there's no central air in this home. I'm back up at that extra entry by the side door of the house. It comes out onto the landing to the basement. And so one of the reasons that's important is that you could conceivably finish the basement into a separate apartment and it would have its own entrance by this door. That, of course, is something that you'd have to talk to the city about. It would have to be zoned appropriately, and you would have to have the correct permissions to do that. So back out in the backyard now, I just wanted to give you one more look at the neighbor's house and the driveway and parking configuration. You do have plenty of room to park one car behind the house. There's also on-street parking on this street. So, I don't think the parking is an issue. It's just a matter of communicating with your neighbor and being nice to each other. The exterior of the house is really well cared for and clean. The interior of the house likewise has been well maintained. You're getting a lot of square footage for this price with this house. Some of the cons are you're on a heavily trafficked street, but it's also very, very close to downtown, very walkable. So there are a lot of pros and cons to this house. I guess the one big thing I would say is that you have to like living in an old house in order to put up with the quirks of an old house. Thanks. On the inside of the house, these windows are much older and they don't look like they're in very good condition. We have some pet damage here. They are, however, operable. You've got dark woodwork that looks like it's original to the house. And then you have some other features that are a little lighter. The floors are the original hardwood floors. They're in kind of rough shape, but I'll bet you that these could be refinished quite beautifully. So you've got two rooms here, and notice again the window air conditioning units tell us that there's no AC here. But you've got plenty of nice large windows and lots of light, built-in bookcase. And this large opening between the two rooms. So you'd probably use this smaller area as your dining room. But then here, it looks like we've updated the kitchen. It has vinyl plank flooring, newer appliances. The cabinets are older, but they've been painted. They've had new hardware put on them, and they look to be in pretty good condition. A new black backsplash was installed. Then off of the kitchen, you have this room that looks like originally it was open to the living room, and where they have that bookcase installed in the living room, this portion has been blocked off of the original doorway. So you could easily make this into an office. It technically isn't a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet, but there's no reason why you couldn't use it as a bedroom. And then you have these other windows that go out onto the back porch. So you have lots of light in this room. Now here's a little hall area. Off to that side is the back door, and it goes out to that porch, the small porch area. It looks like the porch was recently enclosed, and there's still some finishing work to be done there. It used to be an open exterior deck kind of porch. But now you've got this closet area here and a cabinet. And then this is a half bath. I'll take us down to the basement now. So this is an unfinished basement. It does have quite high ceilings, so you could easily finish this off into usable space. It looks like the basement windows have been replaced relatively recently. And then you have, you know, this one good-sized room here. There's the laundry sink and the laundry hookups. It looks like there's something kind of wonky about the electrical box over there. It's not exactly square. But then this room opens up into the other part of the basement, so it goes around in a great big circle. Here's the hot water heater, which looks relatively recent. And I'm going to go around the other side and get a view of the furnace, which we are quite in the dark here. So the furnace looks to be a little bit older on this one. It's kind of hard to tell. It's not ancient by any means, but it certainly doesn't look like it was recently replaced either. Again, down here, it kind of looks like they were doing some finishing work, but whatever they were doing, it got stalled before any of the work was finished. And then there's one large bathroom utility room down here. So you've got the toilet, sink, full tub and shower, another laundry sink over here, and washer and dryer controls here. The vinyl looks to be in pretty rough shape. This could certainly use some work on it, but it does have the basics here of what is a very large and spacious bathroom. Now we're going to head upstairs. Now this is one of the bedrooms upstairs here. It has some hardwood floors that look like they've been sanded, but they were never sealed and stained. Newer windows. A large closet. Across the landing is a bath with toilet, tub, and sink, no shower. And that is one of the older original windows. Again, out off the landing, you've got this quite smaller bedroom. a newer window. You can see out into the backyard, which has got quite a little bit of space here, and a large garage. This is the other side of that little back porch that has been recently enclosed, and there's quite a sizable deck off the back side of it. It doesn't look like it's that old. It looks like it was never stained, so it could use a little bit of attention. But you've also got a nice fenced-in backyard with, once they were cleaned up a little bit, you've got some really pretty perennial beds here. This is another view of the side yard. I'm standing over closer to the garage now. And I'm not sure what that noise is. It kind of sounds like a vacuum cleaner coming from next door. I'll take a look and see if the garage is open. So it's not quite a two-car garage. It's a large one-car garage, though. You could easily fit a large car or truck in here. You could fit all the bicycles, lawnmowers, a motorcycle, boats, any toys you've got. Oh, and I was wrong. It is a two-car garage. You've got two separate bays. It's hard to see because it's so dark in here. But yeah, you have two complete bays. So there is a lot of garage space with this. Well, I guess my judgment is it's an interesting little house. It is a family house. I wouldn't see it as being good for a vacation rental or a bed and breakfast. But as a second home in Eau Claire, I think it would fit your needs really nicely. It does, however, need quite a bit of attention. And that, I guess, is to be expected at this price point. It really needs a lot of cleaning up. A lot of the woodwork needs to be refinished and restained. But I think you put some work into it, and this could be a pretty good house for resale, too. You know, once you had it cleaned up, you'd have some real equity in it. And so, you know, I think it's worth the investment. I'd have to really take a look at the comps and see if this dollar amount is a good one. But the house itself, I guess I'd say, has good bones, but it's definitely a fixer-upper.